Okay, so a friend hits me up and says, "Are you fully on the Proton platform?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got under the seat if you want to try it." Anyway, he says like, "That's okay, don't worry, I'm still researching, but maybe I'll do it for a month and see." And he asked me this question: what have been the main pain points of using it and or switching over? So this video is exactly about that, the pain points that I've been experiencing since switching over to Proton platform, and how some of those pain points have been already solved because they're continuously updating their products. So if you want to learn about the pain points from my experience, stick around, this is the video to check out. If you're new to this channel is called The Googled Life. I'm Alexey Dolotov. I used to work at Google until they laid me off. And they didn't lay me off because I was watching YouTube all day, although that was a part of my job, creating content for YouTube. The whole budget cuts that happened after ChatGPT was released, and they were in code red of going crazy. Okay, a bunch of team reorganizations happened. My position, my video position became obsolete. Not needed anymore. But working under Google Ads and Google Analytics, I've known enough of the ecosystem. I knew that I didn't want to use Google products. Even while being at Google, I already started using the privacy phone. This is now the third version of my privacy phone. And I went to the very other extreme, diving into the world of privacy, of respecting user privacy, not exploiting that data, and doing everything I can to kind of promoted the idea of an internet where our information is not being sold. So as a result of that, I started this channel, and that's the whole point, to bring awareness and give you alternatives of privacy softwares and platforms out there that you can use outside of the big tech ecosystem, Google, Meta, Facebook, Microsoft, and so forth, big tech products. So today's video is not sponsored by Proton. Obviously, it came from my friend as he asked me this question, and some of the best videos I created is literally from friends asking me questions, and I start texting away. So let's go into the pain points of Proton products. I initially started using Proton while I was still at Google. Then fast forward like 4 years later, I needed some sort of privacy solutions, and then I'm like, of course, Proton, and I dove into the product to realize that they had more than just Proton Mail. At this point, they had Proton Mail, Proton Calendar, VPN, and Drive. None of these things were even around yet. Yes, they did have Proton Pass. So with that said, I adopted the product very, very quickly as I wanted to migrate all of my data out of Google, especially not working there anymore. At that same time, I abandoned Chrome, started using Brave browser, and just like started enjoying using the internet again. That's uncluttered with no distraction, no ads, and it's just beautiful. Use Brave browser. As a result of that, became a strong advocate of Proton, was very active on some of their forums, had an interview with Proton, and I'm like, this is amazing. I want to work for you guys. Ended up not going further with the interviews because I didn't want to move to England, and the rest is history. I'm still looking forward to one day actually working for Proton when they do have a position in the States where I am at, but for now this is not possible. So starting to answer the question, what have been the main pain points of switching over? I would say not much. Their ecosystem is still needing to be developed, and frankly, tons of features still need to be added in order to compete with the others. But for basic simple stuff, it definitely does the job. Now, as you know, companies have their private user, public user side of businesses, and their enterprise, products for business. So Proton has been expanding, and I've been noticing the track record that they've been focusing a lot on business as well, not just only private users. And it's been great seeing that, because those are the customers that really pushing the limitations of their products, because they pay a big moolah in their enterprise prices in order to push the product forward. So in a way, that's kind of good. I hope that they never abandon the real users that help them jumpstart the whole platform in the ecosystem. But with that aside, I see some improvements definitely being made. So with that said, let's start about email. With email, it has not been a mess since I've started using Proton email. I've never gotten a single spam email yet to date, and it's been around 2 years that I've been using the platform nonstop. And obviously there is no ads on Proton emails like you get ads in your Gmail inbox with Gmail. That's a big relief. In terms of email delivery speed, Proton does not deliver you emails as fast as Gmail. Let's say the truth about that. Especially when you're doing like a two-factor authentication. Sometimes Gmail, it's almost instant. With Proton, it's a few seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 15 seconds, 20, whatever. But the general thing, obviously, they don't have servers as fast as Google's infrastructure, and the things are a little bit slower, but they're not showstoppers. You can still use the platform and get your stuff done, regardless that it takes you 5 to 10 seconds longer to receive your email. The email transition is very easy. Proton has a tool that you can use to migrate all of your emails out of your Gmail inbox, and then once everything's migrated, shut off the link and have all your email history within your Proton inbox, which is great. Somewhat of a pain point that I experienced with Proton is their mail filtering system. They're a little bit slow. Once you start setting up the filters, it can only process one filter at a time. And until that filter fully indexes and gets all your emails in a certain folder that you create for that filter, you can't start the next one as it's doing that process in the background. So if you have a lot of things that you need to organize in your Proton mailbox, you just do one thing at a time as often as you remember every single day. Until you get all your filterings done. But once it's done, it's done. It goes to the right folder and you don't have to mess with it anymore. Okay, let's set up a filter right now. I'm gonna go to this little drop down over here, go to settings, I'll go to filters, apply to existing messages, confirm. Okay, files are being applied. This might take a few minutes, but realistically it takes like a day sometimes. We'll try to apply all the Chase emails to Chase. Guess what? Click confirm. Files are being applied. This might take a few minutes. Maybe I'm wrong about that. They fixed it. Accounts management with Protons. So as you know, in Gmail, you can create as many Gmails as you want. And then you can forward the Gmails to each other, and out of your main Gmail address, you can then do a little drop down and tell it to send email from this email address that is also tied in with your Gmail. But the problem with that is that you have many Gmail accounts, and every single Gmail account has its own login, and it gets so annoying. Proton kind of solves the job much easier. If you're on their paid subscription plan, you can totally set up different emails within one main email login. And then when you send an email, you can choose which email you want to send the email from. And it all stays centralized in one central Proton email. And that has been an amazing feature. Now with the Visionary account, I literally get 100 emails with my Proton account. As we can see in our price breakdown of Proton Mail, for your Proton Unlimited or for the free account, you unfortunately only get one email address, but if you get a Proton Mail or a Proton Unlimited plan, you get 15 extra email addresses for you. I have not even topped out with my Visionary plan where I get 100. Again, if you get the Proton Family plan or Proton Duo plan, you can get 30 email addresses for you, which is great. For a family plan, you get what? Let's see where you get. 2 users. Nah, it doesn't tell you. But this is a really cool feature. You know how if you have a website, you want to get your own email at whatever the website you have? With Proton, yeah, they actually let you do that without needing to get a Google Workspace account, because that is included. So with Mail Plus, you get one custom email domain. With Proton Unlimited, you get 3 custom email domains. So that is beautiful. Like, hey, do it. And you don't have to pay Google Workspace in order to get that feature. Because a lot of times people are forced into buying Google Workspace just to get that special at your own domain, website, email address. So moving forward, calendar. Syncing the calendar was very easy. Again, they have their own tool where you can sync your Google Calendar, not only just your Google Mail from your Gmail inbox, but also your Google Calendar. And once you sync all that stuff, it directly imports into your Proton Calendar account, and it's job well done. You can continue doing your thing, and it's amazing. So some of the calendar features that I'm not necessarily understanding why it's that way, but you know how you're so used to your Google Apple ecosystem. When there's a calendar event, you can set notifications and it tells you when something is happening. At the very beginning on a privacy phone, I used to get the calendar notifications only on my email, and I wasn't sure what's going on, and then I figured something out, I guess, and I'm finally getting calendar notifications on my privacy phone. So yes, I do have all my calendar invites, all my calendar events, and it works. So that's a feature that they either improved or I finally learned how to use my privacy phone in order to get those notifications popping up at the top. One thing that was missing in the calendar feature is when you were able to search your calendar not only for future events but for previous events, and I was like, how in the world is that not a thing? I don't understand. How in the world is that not a thing? But the good news, ever since my complaints were telecommunicated, because I never verbally spoke out about this, Proton actually included the feature. So when you go into your calendar now, you can actually start searching. So I do Alexei, and not only you see your future events, but you can also finally see your previous events, that when you want to recall, oh, what did I do that one day? Where is it? So this feature is finally here. Thank you, Proton. When you first start doing the search, you might need to index, but once it's indexed, it works. So moving on. Proton Drive. Now, I hate Google Drive. So inconsistent. So many times that it would upload and then fail to upload at the end. Sometimes even when I worked at Google, did some freelance projects on the side, I would go to the Google buildings, use their fast internet, and it would still fail to upload. I know people that work within the Google Drive department and they're like, Google Drive sucks. Internally so archaic, so old school, and it's a mess. They hate it themselves. I guess the only reason that they use it is as a Google employee, you get an unlimited Google Drive account. Okay, great, whatever. But Google Drive completely sucks. I skipped the Google Drive ecosystem and I barely use it, not unless a client really needs me to use it. But about Proton Drive, it's very reliable. Their drive system has not failed me yet. If you use the photos feature on Proton Drive, it encrypts all the photos. So again, it won't train AI data with your photos like Google Photos does with your photos or your Google Drive photos. None of that junk is happening. One thing Proton did a very good job and completely killed Google in it is that Proton Drive allows link expiration and password access when you share a Proton Drive folder with somebody. Come on, Google, where you've been at? Like, you're so late in the game. By that time, if you implement this feature, like, forget about it. Others are way ahead of you. Synology even has that on their drive system as well, and it's beautiful. So when you share a link with somebody, it expires after a specific time. That's it. You don't have to worry about going back to whatever folder you shared with who. The link is expired. Things are safe, secure. You don't have to worry about it being leaked anywhere else. With Google Drive, it just doesn't work that way. Sorry, you guys lost this battle. A subsequent question that my friend asked about the Drive ecosystem. With Google Drive, yes, you're able to link your Drive, sync it to your desktop, or sync your Google Drive to your network asset storage NAS. We're both using Synology, and Synology has a feature to link your Google Drive to your Synology and back it up on there. But how do I do that with Proton Drive? You don't. At least I know there, for now, there's no workflows that I know of, but I don't want it to. I don't want my Proton Drive to be synced to my NAS. There's no point for that. And again, because I use my Synology NAS, I can do the same drive features out of my Synology, share drive folders with people, password protect them, expire those links with my Synology the same way I can do in Proton. And Proton is just for everyday on-the-go stuff, things that I need updated, and not necessarily for archival stuff like I do with my NAS at home. I'm sure somebody can build a tool that you install with Docker on your Synology and able to sync Proton Drive and Synology stuff together, but at this point, I don't know of anyone that did it, but I think it'll be a good project to fund. So when I need to share files, yeah, it depends what the use case is. Whoever I want to share the doc with and I need to give them edit access to, they don't need a Proton account. I could just give them the doc and it works. Now let's talk about Proton's docs and their collaboration ecosystem. It's good that you don't need an account. When you share a Proton doc with somebody, they can view it, they can edit it. That's very cool. But it's a very infant stage right now. Proton Docs was released not too long ago, then followed by Proton Sheets. and they are very, very simple. Yes, at this point, a lot of the sheets that you import into Proton Sheets out of Google or your Microsoft XLX file does not apply all the formulas. The formulas maybe not as complex as those two, or even Synology, and definitely there's a lot room to grow. Their doc editor is nowhere close to the features that you find in Synology, Microsoft, Google Docs. But I'm sure they'll be expanding as I see features being improved across their other products. I use it for simple stuff, like simple stuff where I don't need a lot of crazy formatting on. I use Proton Docs and I use Proton Sheets for very simple stuff. I have been able to manage my whole budget out of Proton Sheets now, creating some formulas inside there, and it works. It completely works for me. One thing about switching from Google is that Google had Google Keep for quick little notes. That was a very cool product that I used daily. Proton did not have anything similar to it, but Proton did acquire Standard Notes. Standard Notes, and now it's still an independent product from Proton. You don't get Standard Notes included with your Proton account. It's a separate subscription. But I have been using Standard Notes ever since I found out about it. This is even before Proton acquired it. Now, when I left Google and started using the Proton ecosystem, Standard Notes is what I've been using. It's an app that I use daily on my phone, multiple times a day. Now, in case you're wondering, I did do a video about how to migrate from Google Keep to Standard Notes. Go ahead and check it out. I'll link it down in a link below as well. But it gives you a clear breakdown of how to do it very easily and get you up and running on Standard Notes. Just quite honest, Standard Notes is a little bit annoying. I actually canceled my subscription and only used their free plan because their premium editing functions did not really do the job for me. They're a little glitchy. Maybe one day I will come and revisit it again, or just make another video about why I quit Standard Notes. But for the free plan, it gets the job done and I am content with it. Not super happy, but content with it, as it's a very good platform. Now, on the Brax 3 privacy phone, you do get Carnet, or if you have IO OS installed on your phone. And a very similar thing, it has a Carnet which looks just like your Google Keep. Carnet is available on the F-Droid store, and I believe you can install it on your Nextcloud instance, right? Here it is for Nextcloud, but the problem is that if you don't have Nextcloud, you can't really sync it with all of your devices. It stays on one device. That's why I ended up not using it and do use Standard Notes, which I put on all of my devices, and it all syncs perfectly. But for now, let's go their password manager, Proton Pass. I started using the product as a result of not getting a job by a certain company that also does a password manager, and I realized how bad of a place that place is, and I'm like, who else does it? And then of course Proton, wow, they have a password manager. Now they have this whole ecosystem at this point. Amazing. So like with many other password managers, you can export your vault out of your existing password manager, import your vault into the new password manager, Proton Pass, and it works seamless. Now, I didn't even use a password manager at that point, but as I was diving into the whole world of online privacy and the techniques to make sure that your digital footprint is private, I started using the password manager, Proton Pass. I've been loving it. Their password manager is rock solid. It does the two-factor authorization numbers, the 6-digit number that you have to put in, and it also does passkeys. So if you're using the Google products for that or any other alternative, it's all built in within Proton Pass now. Now, if you use another password manager, you can import it into Proton Pass, but I did not use a password manager, and every time I logged into a website, I put it in Proton Pass, changed the password, and that became a habit throughout the whole year of using Proton Pass. And little did I know it had more than 500 items already in the password vault, and I'm like, where did I even have the time to do all of this? But you know, it naturally happened as the need came up for every website that I visited. VPN. Now with Proton VPN, their VPN is rock solid. I love it. Let's go test it out right now. So let's go on YouTube, and on YouTube I will click any video over here. Okay, man uses ChatGPT to sell his Florida home. It works, right? This is using the VPN. Let's see, something else dropped in the AI generating world. It works. Some more stuff about Epstein. Okay, Epstein. It works. Let's reload YouTube. Okay, AI is frying your brain. Matt Wolf. Pretty cool channel. Videos unavailable. Okay, so this is a great example to show how Proton VPN is definitely helping me out. Okay, so here's your Proton VPN. I would usually go search by the city, San Jose, and San Jose usually kills it. They get the job done. So let's go back to the YouTube video, reload it, and there you go. It works. So often is the case when YouTube wants you to sign in, and I don't want to sign in into YouTube on my Brave browser. I want to keep things private. Just go to Proton VPN, change another city or San Jose. I usually switch between the different San Jose servers, and it ends up working. So it's fine. It works rock solid. I love it, and I've been using it all the time. Now, like I said, Proton is not sponsoring this video. It came organically out of my friend asking me a like legit Proton question. But Proton does give me pennies when I talk about them. They reached out to me, you're talking about us anyway, and if you're going to talk about us, might as well make some pennies. So you can click the links down below, or don't, that's totally fine. Use your own links, go directly to Proton. But if you subscribe and get Proton Mail through those links, that's cool. I'll be super thankful for it, even for the few pennies I get. I appreciate it very much. Pain points. Now they do have a crypto wallet. Now, their wallet is useless if you don't have Bitcoin. I wish that one day they'll provide more alternative cryptocurrencies on there. Maybe one day when I'll get a Bitcoin, I'll use it. But if you don't have Bitcoin, pointless. And last but not least, one of their newest products is Lumo. Lumo is your AI chat GPT alternative. GTP or GPT? GTP or GPT? I think I always say GTP, whatever. Let's go to Lumo. Click Lumo, it's new. They have the little cat logo for it. Lumo is pretty cool. You have your ghost version of Lumo. You just chat, no record of it in your own browsing history or chat history, or you can just use your regular one. Again, encrypted, it works very well, and I've been noticing that it's been improving, especially with the whole news saga of Anthropic and Chat GPT working with the US government. I'm sure there's going to be another update coming very, very soon, as every single AI chat application out there wants to jump on a bandwagon and steal more users from ChatGPT, GPT, whatever. Definitely there will be some updates coming on Lumo, and I'm excited to share those once they come in. But I've been really enjoying Lumo. I don't want my information to be capitalized on with Gemini, which I use for work, some school stuff. I don't want my personal information to be capitalized on through ChatGPT. Lumo, pretty safe, and it matches what I need to do in comparison to what I did on those platforms. I'll do a video breakdown even how I prepared for this very video using Lumo as a way to organize my content. Hey, and check it out, Lumo is for free. You can go ahead and try Lumo for free as you wish. There are some limitations, obviously, limited daily chats, limited chat history, but you can type away without even logging into your Proton account or creating a Proton account and see how it functions. Now, if those features are a little bit too limited for you, you can get the paid version, $9.99 a month, and obviously it has more features than your free account. You can sign up to Proton's Lumo in the link below. Proton does give me some pennies every time a user signs up using the affiliate links. If you don't, that's cool. If you do, much love, super appreciative of you for doing so. And now I'm excited for the updates that are coming hopefully soon. Some final takeaways. I mean, the transition strategy shouldn't be cold turkey, although some people do it in cold turkey. I thought it would be a very time-consuming switch, but I just did it in a very gradual way and just updated things slowly, changed my subscriptions, emails on websites as I used those websites, and I'm sure there are still websites that I haven't fully switched over yet. But the reality of Google privacy stuff is very real. Even though GDPR was hit hard in 2016, 2017, and Google complied very much so in order to not get fined, but a lot of those things are not being kind of tracked back, and they're going back to the same practices that they had pre-GDPR. So more reason why I don't want to trust Google with any of my data, especially if they're in the US law jurisdictions. huge movements in Europe wanting to move away from US tech platforms because all of their data is being held by US tech platforms that has different privacy laws. In moments where you still do need to use Google, I just use a separated, isolated browser. That browser is specifically dedicated for Google stuff so that it never cross-pollinates with the main browser that I use, which is Brave browser. Now, yes, I do use YouTube on my Brave, but I don't sign in and it keeps me anonymous. And Proton VPN allows me to still watch it when it tells me to sign in. I switch to a different server and it's good to go. So with that said, I know there are some other pain points that other people are experimenting, and if you experimented a pain point with Proton when you switched to Proton platform from one place to another, let me know. I think it'll be a good way to explore some of these questions that you may have, or some of the pain points that you've experienced that other users probably are wondering about, and how do you make solutions in order to adapt to the system. Now, one of the members from the Googled Live Telegram chat group, they've mentioned about this video that the hated one put out, Deep Proton. We need to talk about the Proton ecosystem. He brought up really good points about being stuck in an ecosystem for the sake of convenience. So either way, like if you watch this video, it'll still give you another perspective about being a subscriber to one major hub to solve all your privacy needs. So check out that video, I'll link it down below, and I think it's very useful for you to make a informed decision about what kind of stuff you want to use. But my money is put on Proton. I'd rather be paying Proton for their stuff instead of Google, and that's where I resolve as of today. Until laws change, until they become some Nazis or commies in Switzerland, exploiting all the data, forcing the company or privatizing the company under the government, I think my money sits with Proton.